Are we live now?
Yes.
Okay. That's really weird.
I guess Senate didn't work last week either.
No?
Really? I'm not seeing
That's not good.
it.
We can troubleshoot that later. Okay, I will recall this meeting to order at 11:18 p.m. a.m. Thank you. Vice President,
Here.
Director of Patrol Affairs,
Here.
Director of Finance,
Here.
Director of Outreach,
Here.
Director of Student Technology,
Here.
Director of Legislative Affairs.
Present.
Approval of the agenda.
I motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Susan, seconded by Ben. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously.
I motion to table the minutes to next meeting. I second.
Moved by motion to table the minutes to next meeting. To approve the minutes till next meeting. Moved by Nora, seconded by Mariah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Get to hear the public comments twice. Now is the time for public comment. Welcome and thank you to those members of the public who are present at the meeting today. This segment of the meeting provides the exec board an opportunity to hear new concerns and new perspectives on current issues related to the Tacoma student body. Skip a few. In addition, ASUWT is fostering a constructive and respectful environment in these meetings. Blah, blah, blah. Now we begin public forum. There is no one here. Move down to unfinished business. Have none. New business.
SCFC stuff. Can you pull up the
Yes.
sheet I sent you?
You can also stand over here. There's also a mic if that's easier for you, Susan.
My computer has it up here, and I have
The mic. Okay.
a mic.
Do you want me to stand here and scroll for folks, or do you want
Actually,
me to forward
that's a
this
good
to
point.
everyone too, so they can see it on their screens? Or
Let me go up there.
okay.
Oh, it's so small. Holly's so
And I'll
tiny.
turn this screen a little bit, maybe. I don't know. So,
Why does it need to be turned?
because I don't know unless Ben and Nora want to stand and look at that screen.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's really helpful. Like, that's not sarcastic.
Okay. Coolio. So we just finished our annual allocations. Yay! Happiness. The committee decided to go with an increase of $3 despite your guys' recommendation of $2. This is specifically due to the tariffs that we're already seeing, having an impact on how much proposers are needing. We had to increase a couple of, I think one that was for some computers in the IT department by a bit just to accommodate the additional costs that we're going to see. We're also going to be expected to fund technology in the new building, so that's another reason why they wanted to see that increase. Okay. Right now, with that $3 increase, we're expected to have a surplus of $7,002.38. Any questions about any fund proposals? I don't know what to say to you guys. Yes.
Are the new computers for like a specific building that's in the plans?
It's
You go or
the new computers are specifically for the IT department. It's for graphic intense computers because we've had an increase of students requesting access to them in the lab. And we're
Okay.
also anticipating software updates. And what we have right now are surplus computers from SET, and they're not going to be able to handle the next update. So they're requesting graphic intense computers. We approved them for one right now. And that computer will be made available next year in the IT help desk, the BG 108 lab, during their hours of operation, which generally is 7 to 9 p.m. And it's available on Saturdays.
How much is this year's annual request? Like annual?
How much is it in total? I believe is it the 637,000 or is it the 644,000? Yeah, it's 644,992. We brought it down from 785,000, which is like I think a 25% decrease or something. 25% decrease. The committee was very particular on how they reduced certain costs. We had proposers come in and explain what was a priority, what parts we could reduce in certain proposals. We also reduced by combining resources and services like 3D printing. We also simplified the IT help desk wage request that they have so that they can hire students who are third and fourth year and potentially graduate students, because before they had limitations on who they could hire. Yeah. UAC, we allocated 34,000 in total with the 18,000 that we were projected for, and then the additional coming from our current allocations for next year.
Is the reserve sections the part where you took from the reserves, or?
The reserve section, right now we have Job Scan and Raspberry Pi, but with a $3 increase, we wouldn't be pulling from reserves at all. Yeah.
So I'm seeing that you need an approval for this budget that the committee
This
spent
budget.
time putting together, and then you need a separate approval for the fee increase.
Yes.
Is the expectation for that 7,000 surplus to be reserved in case?
Potentially put
tariff
into
rises?
reserves or put it back into one of the programs that we cut from, potentially the graphic intense computers, or another one, but that's up to the committee to decide. Yes.
What would
Make sure we're talking into the mic.
What would the graphic design computers actually be? Like, would they be in for use for a class? Or would this just be like extracurricular?
For both.
Okay.
We want them to be available because we have, in the winter, we have students who are taking classes that require Lumen, SketchUp Pro,
Okay.
computers that need to be able to render stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So we're making that more
Adobe.
readily available,
Yeah.
since we have not been able to get in contact with any schools or departments that have those courses to see if they would be able to fund anything.
Okay. And there's like no way we can lower it to $2?
If we lowered it to $2, we would have a bit less available, I believe. But there's also a concern that was raised by one of admin, I believe. Connor, correct me if I'm wrong. Potentially, we are collecting less in fees than we were projected to at the 603,000. So if we are collecting less, the 7,000 would give us more wiggle room, and we would be able to maintain what we are currently planning on funding in that case. Yeah.
So what Susan's speaking towards, after the document was sent into the Office of Planning Budgeting, they returned it quicker than expected yesterday, which is awesome. They have noted that the projections for fee collection for the months of April, May, and June provided to us by our finance team may seem a little higher than they actually are. This was provided by Mike Russell before he left his position. And it's projections. You're always dealing with the potential to be projecting more or projecting less. So I'm waiting on confirmation from Finance Administration to see if we should be adjusting that total number, that 617,000 that we started with before the fee increase happened. If that number does drop, the fee allocation would, the amount of money would go down, so that 7,000 would be decreased. If it drops more than 7,000 in projections, then we're at the point where you're coming out breaking even with a $3 increase. A $2 increase would actually pull more from your reserves or from STF's reserves.
Is the projection because we didn't get as much in enrollment for spring quarter as what was initially projected?
Yes, there's the projections on the document that Mike provided. It had projections for March, April, May, and June. Most likely we know what money was collected in March, so that number is going to be replaced with the actual number, and then whatever Cherie does with projections will be adjusted. So that 617 could potentially decrease, which if we only do a $2 increase might mean that reserves would be more likely to be used. The $3 could still save if that projection was off.
Also, to make a note on the issue of tariffs, like Susan had mentioned, prices in general are going to go up just because things are, even if they're manufactured in the US, prices are still going to go up because it's a competitive market. They're going to see higher prices. So that means that they can increase their own prices. So we're going to see a large increase in prices of both domestic and foreign manufacturing, as well as supply chain as well. Like tariffs are going to, even if it's made in the US, you still have supply chain to take into consideration. So materials and parts are going to cost more. So I think the $3 increase is a good choice, considering how volatile the market is right now and sort of the project. We don't know what direction things are going to go in the next year or so.
Another thing I'd like to add about purchasing, we have very specific places where we can purchase our technology, and oftentimes that is from overseas distributors that we've made deals with. So that's another thing to consider.
Can I ask another question? Not
Yes.
related to tariffs, though. Does the IT department have any plans for like getting the word out about this additional resource? Or is it just going to be like a computer that is there meant to be used but not being used?
For the IT department, we are working with them on advertising. That's part of what our meetings are going to be from here on out, to make sure that all of the additional things that we have funded and that we have decided to refund, we're going to be making sure that they're advertised and that students know they're available.
Would there ever be like workshops where one of the IT employees helps like teach students how to use these softwares? Because sometimes they can be kind of complicated. So I'm just wondering if there's anything in place that's going to help them like understand how to use it and stuff.
Depending on the software, yes. If it's something with Adobe Cloud Suite, that's going to be downstairs in the multimedia lab. Any sort of video editing creative software, that's going to be downstairs in CP005, like always. With these softwares, student workers are generally trained just to install, because we're not able to assist students with assignments. And so there's that gray area of like, is the student doing the assignment for the other student, or are they actually helping with troubleshooting? We do already have workshops with the IT department for university-specific softwares. It's called iTuesdays. We're going to be working on getting them better advertised. That's going to be one of the focuses we have for the IT department. But we can definitely talk about potentially having how to navigate the software as part of the workshops.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna
Yes.
just give you your flowers a little bit, because kudos to you and everything that you've done in your role with regard.
What
I'm giving
do
you
you
praise
mean?
is what I'm doing.
Oh!
It's a phrase, Susan.
Sorry.
Because
I didn't
you
understand.
have brought a different perspective to the role with regards to getting all of the proposers very early on and setting
Mhm.
expectations that they do need to advertise anything that is funded through STFC, and reducing your guys' budget by 25% just by being able to consolidate things through 3D printing and whatnot. I know how much work that took for you guys to get and to think collaboratively using resources that already exist and are underutilized. So kudos to you and the committee for being able to do that, especially in a very difficult year that we have right now.
Okay. One other thing I wanted to note was that we only reduced funding for one student employee position. All of the others they stayed consistent, or they received more, like the Makerspace received additional student wage funds so that they could take on all of the 3D printing resources. But not all of them are funded at minimum wage, so we were able to keep the amount they were requested. So that's what I wanted to say. Anyways, any other questions about annual allocations, the fee increase, any of the things we funded? No? Okay.
Do I hear a motion to approve on the annual allocations?
I motion to approve.
I second.
Moved by Ben, seconded by Alicia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Is there a motion to approve the STFC fee by $3?
So moved.
Did you say still moved?
So moved.
Oh, so moved.
Moved by Alicia, seconded by Nora. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Abstaining? Motion passed. 5-1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do math.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm done.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you, Susan. Director updates.
I have one. UAC still has not convened. 1 to 2 weeks is the current length of time we have been projected to finally meet and see the proposals. So yeah.
Spring GA is coming up. So I'm probably going to get together a form that I'm going to try and broadcast to the student body to try and get some more input on what our proposals are going to be for WSA for next year's legislative agenda. We also had the Protect Higher Ed rally yesterday. That went pretty well. Sat in with a meeting with Representative Fai's staff. They were very receptive, or his legislative assistant was very receptive. Rep Fai is also a first-gen student, and I believe his LA came from a similar background. So good to know that at least our representatives from the district are supporting students.
I will be going for spring allocations. I think I mentioned this last meeting, just letting you guys know it's due next week. I'm planning to submit it this week, but depending on how fast I get it done, that would be different. But continue to fill out your LA tracking forms.
Just throw it in there every time. We have some events coming up. Involvement Fair Day 2 is today. So if anybody can stop by, or if you're already there, come say hi. We also have Husky Fest coming up. That's just, I believe that's on a Saturday. So if you're able to and you live close, then just stop by. It's a good chance to like get new students excited. So I believe that's Prairie Line Trail. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. And then Block Party, you've heard from Sam from the last meeting, I believe, and just through his emails. If you have a chance to go to the committee to start planning this, then that would be really cool. And then also to participate on May 15th. So, yeah. No other updates.
Nice.
Any updates on the side of the table? The same old stuff. Thank you. Advisor updates.
Hi. Elections are happening. It is week two-ish of campaigning. The candidate tabling, it was canceled for today due to the weather, but it'll take place in UW 304 on Thursday from 11:30 to 1:30. So please stop by if you're not already going to be there. And then next week kicks off our debates/forums with the presidential debate on Tuesday, followed by director debates/forums on Wednesday and Thursday. So Melissa is working on getting all that information out and broadcasting to the campus. And then voting will kick off the week after, so 21st. And Rock the Vote is coming on Wednesday, the 23rd. So lots of fun things going on there. In other news, the spring quarter has begun. Voting is open for Student Choice Awards for the Oscars, and the Oscars will be on May 2nd. In this room at 5:30, so make sure to show up and enjoy. And then we are moving towards completion of a lot of fee considerations between SAS, STF, and NSUF on May 8th. Susan will be heading off to the Board of Regents meeting to propose what you all just approved, and hopefully we'll make sure that we'll to pursue with funding what we could for STF this year, and Samuel from SAF will join, as well as NSUF representation. That's really all that we got. Keep your eye on the calendar, keep your eye on your emails, because stuff's coming for just the rest of the quarter. And if you need anything, we're here.
I do hope NSCOF knows they need to come to us if they want any endorsement.
That's a great question. Maybe you should follow up with Stefan.
Yeah, because they kicked me off of that after I asked too many questions. So
yeah, that's great.
And delete your badge. What? Next time, don't do it now.
Okay, another event is End of Year Bash, which ASUWT is collaborating with HSS, which is the Husky Success Series. It's May 27th from 11 to 1. I knew that. It's on the Prairie Line Trail, and ASUWT will be tabling. It's on the form, so sign up. There will be a caricature artist, balloon animals, the giant husky, not balloon animals, I'm sorry, face painting, my bad, ice cream, the food truck will be there, field games, so much more, drinks, food, table. Thank you.
Amazing.
Where's on the form? Because I only see Husky Festa block party, unless I'm blind.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it.
Okay.
It's gonna be added.
Okay. Okay, cool. I hope that's the day I can get. Okay, chair updates. I sent you guys an email based off of what we discussed last week. There is a response requested, so please, I saw yours, Mariah, when you responded to it.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for that. But
Sorry,
other
I was
people,
like, what did I respond to?
yeah. So what was discussed in last week's meeting is regarding legacy documents. So please respond to that of which day you would prefer to meet on, the Saturday or, yeah, there's a typo, Saturday and or Sunday, and then when during the day you would like to meet, not 2 Saturdays.
Did you
Yes.
happen to make a template?
I'm working on it. Okay, yes. You could probably find the one that I made for last year's team in Canva, but it needs updating. So I'll send that to you guys. But for now, let's try and get the date on the calendar. And aside from that, elaborating on what Connor said for Oscars, make sure you guys vote because ASUWT is also on there for Campus Impact. So make sure you guys vote. So anyway, if nothing,
I remember you just said there was a typo. I said there's 2
Yep,
Saturdays.
yep.
Yeah.
I had a little silly goofy typo.
I was like, it's okay. I understood.
Okay, motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second.
I'm
There's no-
motion.
yeah.
Moved by Alicia,
Second.
seconded by Ben. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously.
Cool.
Bye. Bye.
Like, draw. There's something on the table.